Hi everyone, this is Rebecca Berenstein from Usborne Books and More, rebeccasells.usborne.com, and today I wanted to talk about some of Usborne's wonderful picture books. There are a lot of different options. Many of them are in the Kane Miller series, which is our wide breadth of picture books, and a lot of international choices as well, and series and various activity books. So one of the ones that I wanted to show to start with is I Love You Animally. And this is a nice hardbound book with the rounded corners, and the inside pages are a little bit thicker so that they stand up to young children like my 2.5-year-old toddler. And this one is I Love You Animally. I love you cutely like a koala. I love you boldly like a ram. I love you gently like a lamb. And it keeps going like that. A great bedtime story, different animals, and musically, all these different adverbs that kids can be exposed to. So this is a great choice. I Love You Animally. There's also another by the same author that's I Love You Americanly. Of course, we know what country that came from. And it's I love you bountifully like the Everglades. I love you colossally like the High Cascades. And there's the rhyming, which is nice too. Again, another good bedtime story. And this will take you across the United States. Good way to expose kids to the world beyond their door. Well, the country beyond their door. So these are two great choices. There's also Amelia Who Could Fly. And this is a book about Amelia Earhart and her childhood. Kind of fictionalized, but there's also some great facts. Good pictures. We learn how she wanted to do things that weren't always expected of little girls, going outside hunting for animals and just discovering, and she wanted to fly, and she tried to make her own airplane, and of course later on we know that she does, and she flies. So this is a great story for little boys and girls certainly, of believing in what you want to do. And there's a nice version book that can be exposing kids to color. This is Paint Me a Picture, and it introduces the color yellow, and then some things that would go along with the color, like we think of sunshine when we think of yellow. Some nice, very black and white pictures, but then there's the splash of yellow, which look like watercolor. And then red, of course, we have passionate, bold, dangerous, brave. I love the different fonts that the words are written in, and it just gives it more visual interest to be written up like this. And kids will enjoy being able to point out the words. Another one that would be good for a child that's anxious is Jonathan James and the What If Monster. There are also great little plushes that come with some of these books, and there is a plush of the What If Monster. So Jonathan James just isn't sure about things. There's all kinds of what if questions. He wants to go swimming, but what if they giggle? What if it's chilly? What if you jump and look really silly? So there's also the rhyming, which is nice. And these pictures are just so bold and beautiful. And after all of these what ifs, what if it's ugly? What if it stinks? Eventually, the little boy, Jonathan James, says, "Now wait just a minute, I have something to say. After hearing what ifs all through the day, I hear all your worries, I hear your claims. But what if you're wrong?" asks Jonathan James. And so suddenly he says, "What if the baseball is nothing but fun, and I end up hitting a triple home run?" So all of the what ifs end up being good things. So that's a great one. It comes in various forms. This is the paperback. It also comes in hardback. And then one that is a good conversation starter, Everybody Poops. I think the name says it all. This is from Japan, and there's a companion that's The Gas We Pass. And it's kind of exposing kids to poop, often taboo topic, but this is in a fun way. Talking about that everyone poops. People, animals, and it shows all the different kinds of poops, and that they smell different, they're different colors, and how animals poop. and whether animals clean themselves after, like we do. And it would be a great potty time trainer. He wipes himself with paper, flushes it down. So I'm definitely going to be using this with my 2.5-year-old. Everybody poops. There's Albert and Little Henry. This is a good one for if you have a child that is going to be getting a new sibling. It's about a little boy dog, and then suddenly there's a baby. And the little boy starts to feel left out because mom and dad and friends and family are paying more attention to the baby. Some really nice pictures. Here's the baby coming home. And the little boy always talks to his parents, but here the parents are just so tired with the baby that they don't have time to listen to him. So he starts to feel really small. But then eventually, of course, it ends up well. And Albert learns to love his little baby brother and how much his life has changed with that baby. And he no longer feels small. So that's a good one for a new sibling coming. And this one is a very sweet story, A Tale of Two Beasts. It's actually two stories. One is told from the perspective of the little girl, the other from the terrible beast. The little girl meets the terrible beast, and she thinks it needs to come home and be domesticated, basically, and she thinks that's going to be the best way for it. And then, so you go through all the pictures. She makes him a home. She introduces him to her friends. And then it turns out that the terrible beast has his own story. And he meets this girl, and he just doesn't understand why he's being cleaned by her and all that. And her friends just kind of scare him. And then in the end, we learn really that there are two sides to every story. But maybe neither one of them was as bad after all. And they learn to be friends. So that's another good one, Tale of Two Beasts. It's a very popular one. And one that I think is a personal favorite for most people. It's Nibbles the Book Monster. There's a nice cutout, and that's going to lead to the fun. Nibbles loves to eat books. He's in his little cage, but he gets out. And hilarity pretty much ensues. He goes into different books, and he kind of changes what happens in them. So this is fun. There's a book within a book. And he nibbles pages. This was Goldilocks. And then Little Red Riding Hood. And finally, at the end, he's put into his cage. But wait. There's the cage. He got out! Excuse me. So the end of the book is like that, and he's wanted. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing some of the different picture books that Usborne Books & More has to offer. Please check out my Facebook page and my webpage, RebeccaSellsUsborne.com, and Rebecca Sells Usborne on Facebook, and I can get you connected with some of these great books. Thank you.